What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Open Mic Night. Yeah, I'm a little tongue-tied here right now.
Oh, Oaken.
We've already got a botch.
Oaken.
Okay, okely dokely, okely
Oakley
dokely.
dokely do.
Howdy do, Dave. Oh my God, we got off the rails
Okay.
already. Oh, that was brilliant.
Welcome to another edition of Open Mic Night. Here on
Hey.
the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man Studios, or as we like to just say to make it simple, all the way across the multiverse of media. We've got the regular panelists in the room this evening. James Hebert, Noah
Hello.
Foster, Jeff Meacham, and of course myself. How's it been, gentlemen?
It's been cold. It's been a bit of a brutal time.
I love it. I
yeah.
embrace the cold front. So I'm doing great. I've done nothing today but watch New Japan Pro Wrestling and relaxed in my bed and just worked on Tenable Towers for church service tomorrow. So it's been a nice, simple Saturday, to say the least.
Was there KFC involved again?
No, this time it was chicken. It was chicken parmesan with asparagus and mashed potatoes and cinnamon
Hey,
rolls.
but we still had the chicken. That
Hey,
was the
come on,
important
man.
part.
Hey,
you
you gotta
make
have
me-
that. You gotta have that chicken. It's finger licking good, but I digress.
I love the chicken.
Buy the
you
t-shirt.
make me. Man, I had Chinese food. that doesn't sound nearly as good.
Oh, so sorry.
I just got to basically scarf down some shepherd's pie before I sent the link out. So,
Shepherd's pie.
Nice.
yes,
Shepherd's pie you talking about?
homemade shepherd's pie at that.
I don't even know what shepherd's pie is.
Oh, you missing out, brother.
It's basically a layer of potatoes, or some people do biscuits on the bottom.
As long as an
a
actual
mixture-
shepherd isn't being eaten, I'm cool.
And then it's basically a mixture of ground beef and mixed vegetables. You get corn, carrots, peas, green beans. And then there's a layer of mashed potatoes on top. A little bit of cheese sprinkled on to...
Yes.
Why are you?
I'm sorry. I went to my happy place. You said something.
Where did you, bro? It's not even We're not even at Halloween yet. Why are you trying to have Thanksgiving early?
Not just
What are
one
you doing?
meal, dude. Hey, don't talk to me. Talk to my lady. She's the one that made it. Like I said,
Why are you both
homemade.
trying to have Thanksgiving early?
Well, she cooks for an army anyways. Like, for real. Her meals are
Damn.
for like 10 people.
Oh,
There
God
you
bless her. Sounds like my mother and my sister when they actually coexist and make the holiday meals for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I can't wait for that. Stay tuned for a picture for that. But that being said,
Definitely. The holidays are around the corner. You know, it's cool. I wish I could
Literally.
say it's cooling down here. You know, it's been a little bit cooler this past week than it has been, but tomorrow it's supposed to be back up to 100. So, you know.
You
Oh,
poor unfortunate souls.
Well, I understood that reference. So
We all
y'all
did.
having good. Of course I would. Where the hell am I? Are you kidding me? So love y'all had the great dinners. I need to just make sure I plug the dinner I'm about to have when we're done. Get the small business word out there. This lovely little company on the corner of Catella and State College with the big golden arches. I don't know how well they're doing, but you know, gotta make sure I give them the love there. And not only that, for a drink, there's this small business called Zoa Energy by this dude. I guess he used to be a wrestler or whatever. So yeah, make sure you get out there and support that guy too.
That's pretty cool.
And lest we forget, make sure you go out and support your local name tag makers. These guys are doing the work and making the money, doing their thing. So get out there and support your local businesses, kids.
Yeah, they definitely
I can
this day and era.
I can confirm that the restaurant with that big M, its net worth is, as of September 23rd, 2022, is $182,000 and 41 Bitcoin. Apparently, they're doing Bitcoin measurements now for this crap. So McDonald's is the leading fast food chain. And currently most operated restaurants globally.
This
So
is ironic.
I think they're okay.
Yeah, this is ironic, James, because I kid you not, one of my Tenable Towers is the top 10 fast food chains in America that are probably the most, and McDonald's is number one on the list of 500 done annually once again. Unbelievable.
Well,
It doesn't surprise me. And you figure McDonald's did start out as a mom and pop small town business out here in San Bernardino, California. I've been to the museum at the home of the original location.
Yeah, and by the way, James, that equates to a little bit over $46 billion across 13,000 locations. That was reported as of June 2022.
Well, in that case, based on James's stats, I don't mind dropping the first F-bomb. I don't mind their app fucked up and gave me the meal for free tonight. All right, that's all right. Very good.
Hello to everybody popping into the chat room. Matt, Safet, Elizabeth, Daniel. Good to see all you guys.
I'm more
Just get
shocked what
down-
number 2 was. That's ridiculous. No
What
wonder
was
people
number
don't
2?
sleep. Starbucks.
Well, yeah, that doesn't
Did not surprise me.
We have breaking news, by the way, as we're doing this. I don't know if anybody is aware of this situation, but Mr. Holla Holla Teddy Lawn himself, apparently his Twitter got hacked.
All right.
What the blocks are about. Okay.
Yeah, somebody said his account was compromised. So that's
So he's blocking every friggin' buddy today.
yeah. He got hacked, and now they're having him block everybody or whatever.
Oh Lord.
So
Again,
yeah,
people
somebody
don't-
hacked
Baby
into his
Jesus.
Friggin' dark underground internet in the middle of Siberia in the coldest part of the world don't have anything better to do with their damn life.
Who is this man talking about Undertaker? We need to go into his DNA.
What we need to do is go to the FBI and get a tag team match on them. Play, holla, holla. Anyway, carry on, James.
And you go one-on-one with the Undertaker.
Yeah, right.
Well, gentlemen, in the spirit of Jeff and his new job, let's get down to business here.
Oh boy, you got a problem here?
Are we gonna defeat the Hun?
Man.
I love that everybody knows that joke. Okay.
No
That is one of
comment.
the most
No comment.
iconic Disney songs of all time. If you don't know that, what the hell are you on this planet?
That's right.
What is
Hello.
going on, Hassan?
Hi, Hassan.
Hi,
Are you
Hassan.
Are you
Hey,
related
listen.
to a Hassan? Are you related to a Muhammad?
That's his first name. It's probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Otherwise, he'd probably be knocked out already.
It's a wrestling reference for those who get it from 05. You're not that old.
The DO Grand Prix participants? I don't know about
I
that.
assume that's probably Pro Wrestling Nova.
That's pro wrestling, Japanese pro wrestling, I
Got
believe.
it.
I'm not sure which
okay.
promotion though. It's not a Simpson ripoff where it's like, oh,
Don't.
All right. So
okay.
let's get down to business here. The first topic on the agenda.
Yeah.
War games.
War Games at Survivor Series. Apparently, it's no longer going to be brand supremacy, Raw versus SmackDown.
Well, about time they realized that after freaking 12 plus damn years when the last time that mattered was 2019 when the black and gold kicked the other brand's ass rightfully. I'm sorry, continue.
So Noah's going first. Go ahead.
I was going to say, go ahead, Noah. Why don't you go ahead?
You're right on. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is this: Survivor Series has not stuck to the game plan of brand supremacy since I can freaking remember. The last time it actually mattered was when they had a third player involved and it kicked Raw and SmackDown's ass, and that was my NXT. The fact they're doing Survivor Series War Games, it literally elicits the idea of the strongest, and only the strongest shall survive. So this might be the way to actually make Survivor Series matter again and literally have something relate to the damn brand name. What a wild concept after a decade.
Now, Noah, as your therapist, I have to ask you, how does that make you feel?
You are not Dr. Shelby. Shut the hell up. But I feel fine, thank you.
Does that make Jeff Harold?
Hey, you know what? That's reverse profiling. That's not even
That reverse profiling is wrong.
That's wrong on many levels.
Yes.
Well, okay, so War Games is back, and you said the last time brand supremacy mattered was 2019. I wasn't watching then. I was on my hiatus from professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever we want to call it.
2019 before AEW, it was sports entertainment, but that night it was pro wrestling because the pro wrestling brand won.
But it's obviously got to be the bloodline in War Games, right? I mean, can we assume that that's going to be one team? Roman, the Usos, Solo, and probably the honorary Us, Sami Zayn. Especially after what they did with him last night on SmackDown. Oh my God, that was so great.
It.
I was gonna say, did you see that, Noah?
I did. I did.
saw it.
That
The
was
way
good.
Jay ripped the shirt off, and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be where he's finally thrown out of it. Even Cece was watching it like, no, I like Sammy, no. And then Roman gave him the shirt, and we were both like, yay, Sammy.
Like the redheaded stepchild was getting kicked out of the family. Sick. Now you're a part of it. But that still,
Uh-oh.
I had nothing to do with that.
We
But
mentioned redhead stepchild, and Jeff dropped something.
I represent and
I think
resemble
that-
I am
I
offended.
think that's the cue to go to him next in this topic.
Sure, why
Yeah.
not? I wasn't ready for
I
anything.
don't know. Anything else to say?
Yeah. By the way,
That
for
was
some,
a perfect segue. Like, we can't plan that.
yeah,
This is so
that's
damn
true.
brilliant.
So this is gonna be a weird shot of the night. It looks like, but that's okay. I loved that they did the thing with Sammy last night. I didn't get to see SmackDown because Metrolink and transportation were against me, but it is what it is. But I saw the clip because I pull a Noah Foster and watch the clip on YouTube as I do.
I was gonna say, you at least need to go
Hey.
back and watch that clip. That was
that was
so
a
good.
great segment
was.
from start to finish.
It was a great segment, start
he
to
made-
finish. I respect when creativity is actually showcased in the highest form. Well done.
Yeah, Roman made Solo acknowledge him and had no problem. And then when they had Sammy interrupt the music, I was like, "Oh, Sammy, you gonna die? You gonna die, dog? No!" And then they didn't kill him, and they acknowledged him, and he acknowledged back. It was like, "Yay!" Very cool to see our buddy Sammy, JJ from back in the old Gorilla days. What they should do with the match is Team Bloodline against whatever team they put against him, but Kevin Owens needs to be in that match.
Agree.
Sammy needs to make a moral decision right then and there as the climax to the match. Either Sammy is an Uso or he's not.
And literally, Jeff, that is leading to, in my opinion, the next WWE Tag Team Champions. Because I'm looking at this longer term. Sammy is in for right now. I don't see that being a long-term stay.
No.
No.
This needs to lead to the Usos versus Team Jericho. Sorry, Owens and Zayn. Sorry, had a little PWG twitch there. Definitely need to see that be a tag team match. If not at the Rumble, which could be the easy blow off, you stretch it out long enough considering how much Sammy has been integrated in the bloodline, and then for him to be the one to pull the trigger and betray them, that's a Rumble match. That's a Mania match right there. That's a Mania moment for those guys to win the tag titles in front of however many thousands of people at SoFi Stadium. That's just shit writes itself.
Yep.
Here's my question to you, though, because on the surface, yeah, it's got Mania moment written all over it. But what if Dwayne can't come through? Did you notice the way Jay was looking in the corner after ripping the shirt off?
Yep.
And then Roman giving him the honorary Uso shirt?
Yes, I did.
It was just good.
It very, very easily could be a return to main event Jey Uso to take out Roman for acknowledging Sammy over the actual bloodline.
That's a way of putting it, considering Jay was the very first one that literally learned trial by fire what it meant to be in the bloodline. I can see where you're going. Honestly, I could also see that being a sub program itself. Could be Jay versus Sammy, and it literally could be if Jay wins, Sammy, you're out.
Yeah.
The issue with that is to me. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, no, I was going to say, first of all, JJ, put us back in the four because it's not just me talking. Go ahead. I know I'm producing when I'm not producing the show anymore. It's just ingrained in me. I can't help it.
Your name's on the banister for that, so.
I honestly think that the best scenario was just have Sammy be the one to make the decision, make the right choice, and stick with his buddy Kevin rather than the bloodline. But Jay, it can really go a lot of ways. I think we've got long enough until Survivor Series where Jay can finally be like, slowly, like, all right, whatever, you're in. I'll fall in line with the tribal chief, and
I'll accept it.
And then when Sammy does betray at Survivor Series, then Jay can be like, oh man, no. And then he and Sammy can do the thing at the Rumble maybe, and that leads to Mania with the tag team match.
Or day one, and it sets up for something at the World Rumble. Remember,
Or
we got
day one.
day one before the World Rumble, and day one sets up literally WWE's 2023.
Yeah, and if you have day one and you have the theme, the Usos have been down since day one ish. You can totally be like, man, I let you in. You weren't down since day one, and I let you I let my guard down with you, and look where it led us, man. I'm gonna whoop your ass to start off this year. So
Exactly.
day
True.
one is definitely a factor in the decision making, but yeah, this has me so much more intrigued in the Bloodline, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens thing, even more than I already was before last night.
That was about the only intriguing thing in the WWE, and they found a way to make it even more intriguing. So good for them.
Yeah, and then you figure the girl side of things. What are you going to do with the women's match for War Games? And I proposed on the No DQ review, you got Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka on one end, right?
Yeah.
And you've got Damage Control on the other end. So there's 3-on-3, but you've got to have at least 4 or 5 in the War Games. So alongside Damage Control would be Gigi and JC from Toxic Attraction. And alongside Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka could be the returning Sasha and Naomi.
I more so see it being Raquel and Shotzi after the angle I heard that happened on Friday Night SmackDown. Again, thank you, YouTube clip. But I do understand what you're saying. But that would be a different way to reintroduce Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. But Toxic Attraction, Damage Control together, I don't know. I'm skeptical about that. But I do agree there has to be at least one other person on both sides. Now, Raquel and Shotzi, that makes sense. You got 2 on that side. But let's go ahead and finally let the one person that hasn't speak at all about War Games, Survivor Series, maybe men or women-wise, bring his creative fantasy booking brain to the fold.
Okay.
Good luck, James.
I was going to say, you did a good enough job with your fantasy booking when that was our show. How do you handle this female War Games match?
Female War Games, I'll be honest. I don't even know what you could really do. I'll be honest. This is probably the best bet. I wouldn't change that. Toxic Attraction and Damage Control taking on whatever face duo or like 5-person you have. Although we're considering they're gonna do 5 people and not limit it to 4.
True.
And the reason I say that is because the men's, I think this is what it's leading up to. This is what I think they're going to be doing on the pay-per-view before. They're going to have all the Bloodline win the titles, right? That's the goal. That's ultimately the goal. However, what's going to happen is Sikoa is going to beat Walter clean in the middle. I think that's how we're going to do this. I think that's how they're going to get the belt. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. That's how they're going to get the belt on Walter. And if maybe there is a little interference or something, but for the most part, that's how it's going to be done.
Bullshit.
Sammy is going to get the belt by interference, like a ton of it, from Lashley. I think it's going to lead into a match that's booked by Reigns in the back by force, and Sammy is none the wiser, and he's defending it in an open challenge tonight, and Sikoa accepts, beats his ass after they just lay him out, and then he's going to have both belts, and then they're all going to have 2 sets of titles, essentially. That's what I think is leading to.
I like that.
And then
they're going to... a lot.
If this is what I think they're going to do. So that's going to lead, in my opinion, to the it should be 4-on-4 in this. The Bloodline taking on Seth freaking Rollins, Matt Riddle, so you have that oddball pairing that don't get along, and Zayn and Owens. Okay. That would be a hell of a fucking War Games to open up this Survivor Series deal.
Yeah. I can't argue with the field. It looks good.
I think
it just held down all the titles, held all the titles hostage and merged them into one. Why the fuck not? But anyway,
although we're not even considering Cody could also be a part of that too, so I could actually see.
Well, Cody won't be ready by Survivor Series. That's
I got that.
Not.
Cody will be the winner of the Royal Rumble, realistically, before anything else happens in the WWE with him.
Yeah.
So, JJ, You mentioned Sasha and Naomi coming back. We're just assuming they're going to be booked as baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
You can very easily put Damage Control with those two, get the Sasha Bailey dynamic together at least for a night on the same Survivor Series team. Let's not discount that either.
I feel like when they come back, they're gonna be so welcomed back that they're gonna get that babyface pop. But there's no reason that mid-match they couldn't take out Bianca,
Right.
allowing Bailey and Damage Control to pick up the victory because of the history with Sasha and Bailey.
Well, that's if they come
and
back,
also-
and that's still a big if.
If both those ladies
It is a
come
big
back,
if, Noah, but
if both those ladies come back, they have to, let me say it again, they have to get Naomi into the bloodline. Enough
Agreed.
bullshitting around. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
So there's that. As far as I like James' scenario with the men's match. Extreme Rules can very easily be the gateway to that team being a thing because Riddle and Rollins are going to have that fight pit match. That will just breed respect at the end of the day. They want to beat the shit out of each other now, yes, but when you go into open-handed, freaking basic guttural combat like that, it breeds respect. At the end of the day.
True. Timothy
So-
Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa became a tag team out of that back in my NXT. I agree with that.
Yeah. There's no reason that can't be the same thing because, if you ask anybody that's been in a mixed martial arts or even just a street fight with somebody that you do have a level of respect going into, but you still want to pop a guy in the mouth, more often than not, there's a motorcycle outside that ruins my fucking moment. In the ghetto of Anaheim. Anyway.
that wasn't a motorcycle. They were just testing out the Autopia tracks.
Bob Gurr shamed you for that comment. Anyway, I'm too far away to hear that shit anyway. And he has no idea what we're talking about. That's okay. We'll clean it off there, brother. I lost my train of thought because the damn motorcycle messed me up.
We were
See if I can
talking
get it
about
back.
breathing respect when
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
the fight
Yeah,
with Seth Rollins and Matt
so-
Riddle continue.
So Rollins and Riddle can still go in there with that little bit of animosity, but be like, you know what? The bloodline has been too much of a pain in all our asses. Because figure they've taken out Riddle and gone to war with Rollins in this last year.
Right.
So, and Owens, like he said, still owes a bloodline, and Paul Heyman a good one, for the Rumble 18 months ago. He still owe those guys a big receipt for that bullshit finish. So, Zayn is the wild card. They can introduce it after Extreme Rules, or they can have it be the blow up at Survivor Series. Either way, this is, as you said, Noah, the most intriguing thing about WWE on either show right now, which is amazing that they're actually compelled. Like, seriously, I was pissed at the train being late and having to lift it home. Not because I was getting home late, because I was having to miss SmackDown. And the fact that I was pissed about missing SmackDown indicates that they're doing the right thing right now.
At least for the
Absolutely.
first 15 minutes.
Fair enough. That's true. But even still, I missed the first 15 minutes and the other hour 45. And then I missed the other hour 45 on the West Coast feed. I was late as hell yesterday.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But again, I don't have Fox, so YouTube clip next day. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Ready.
Hulu would have been my friend if I hadn't had to be down here. Well, I wasn't down here. If I hadn't to be out the door ass early this morning, I would have been able to watch Hulu. But when I get up Monday morning, that'll be the thing.
This is what I feel like anytime I have to watch a 2-hour SmackDown with a new team they have. Are you ready
No.
for a good
Hey, not
time?
copyright. Not copyright. Blech.
Are you ready for a good time?
James is broken. James is broken,
I hate it.
ladies
I
and gentlemen,
hate that team
because
so much, man. It's such a
that's a
wrestling
subtopic,
thing.
James. When did music lost identity in the WWE top to bottom except for Roman Reigns' feet?
09.
Good point.
Well, speaking about Survivor Series in the WWE,
2009
We
Survivor Series
also-
was awesome, by the way.
we also had the announcement this past week for the next Halloween Havoc.
I just want to say this real quick. I don't see TakeOver. Not my NXT.
No, but I don't know.
No,
if you-
they weren't takeovers anyway.
I don't know if you researched or saw what happened, Noah, but this guy named Ilya Dragunov made a surprise return on NXT, making a triple threat match now with Braun and JD McDonough. So,
Okay. I guess.
Former
See his
NXT
brain is turning.
UK
It's turning around the
champion
bend.
on Not My NXT.
So you've got Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough, and Ilya Dragunov, both challenging NXT champion on the NXT Tuesday night show.
Okay. That's
All right.
actually pretty good.
on Halloween Havoc.
Which is actually a Saturday this time.
Yeah, it's going to be a PLE event.
Oh. Why,
What day is that again?
And it should be a takeover.
It's like the Saturday
The
before
22nd.
Halloween,
Yeah, it's like the Saturday before Halloween.
All I'm
or
gonna
maybe,
say
maybe
is,
one before that. So either way, it's on a Saturday. I probably won't be there either for that, which sucks. But
well, I know who I would want to see win, but again, it is not my NXT, so I don't know necessarily how to interpret this. But we'll see.
I'm making
But
sure
again,
when I go to bed. Fuck it.
I don't see the word takeover. And
They are advertising as takeover in certain markets. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
going to be a wide thing or not.
When I watched NXT, they said takeover, but for some reason the graphic doesn't say takeover.
Mm-hmm.
But they did say it more than once when they were promoting it on the air. So take that for what it is.
change the set, and then maybe I'll believe it.
Give it a break, Noah. I'm trying to get you back, man. I'm trying hard.
I applaud your effort. And I'm not discounting it. I'm still gonna say not my NXT till
One
further
of us.
notice.
One of us.
Looks like
And
I am
then
not
they've also
easily
announced
persuaded.
they've also announced a ladder match for the now vacant North American Championship, as Solo had to surrender it since he was not originally even someone that could be voted for.
Can I be honest about that logo? It looks like somebody just decided to take a freaking Magic Expose eraser and erase the gunk that was on that logo, and then they put gold trim next to it to make it look flashy. It doesn't even scream the black and gold at all.
I told you it was not going to be black and gold. It's white and gold. It's not my NXT.
It's white, black, white and gold with some black trimmings. You know,
And the wings and where the V is are very reminiscent to me of the old Batman logo.
Not for NXT. Oh, we got a problem here, no?
I look at I look at that logo and I'm always reminded of Warrior.
I'm just waiting for a freaking the original Batman to make a cameo.
Well, no. Based on that logo, it'll be George Clooney. Run for your lives.
Good point.
Bang!
Damn.
How? Kablamo!
No. That's the good Batman.
That's the good Batman, James. You freaking.
Yes, it's a good Batman, but black and gold was more serious, so we have to go with that Batman because
that's
of cartoon
true.
effects.
That's true.
Have to.
All right.
This is the most
Anyway,
off the rails
JJ,
topic
hold on
jumping
here.
episode we've done.
Hold on here. I got to point this out. The NXT North American Championship, when it was first freaking introduced, was at NXT TakeOver New Orleans in a freaking ladder match. To this day, they still have not figured out how to freaking showcase this damn championship. And the closest remnant you had in, not my NXT, was Carmelo Hayes. You're telling me they screwed the pooch on that, and now I'm supposed to expect that somebody even more notable than him is actually going to carry this title?
He's in the match.
I was going to say he is in the match. Shawn Michaels said that, you've got the opportunity to earn it back by being in the ladder match.
You should have
We've
lost
also
in the damn
got-
first place.
We've
It
also
sounds-
got Oro Mensah and Wes Lee.
Who the fuck is Aura Mensa?
Who the fuck is Dingus Bingus? You drafted this guy. You drafted
get-
this piece of shit.
Did
You
you get a blind-
stupid motherfucker.
Did you get a blind seal to stick a ball in a ball pit that just threw it down a hoop that's like, oh, we're going to use this as a damn name? What the
I
fuck?
just want to throw out for the record that Noah has cussed more than James and I tonight, and he said screwed the pooch already. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna put.
And
this
he's
out.
the straight edge one just drinking Gatorade.
Not my NXT!
I'm just gonna say this. It sounds like Shawn Michaels is still fucking up, like he has been for months. This goddamn brand.
Sounds like a
God
freaking virus.
damn
What the
it.
hell? Sounds like a freaking virus. What the hell?
Sounds like a virus. Jesus Christ. Oh my
Sounds
God.
like a virus. Oh no, that's the next pandemic. Run.
Right.
We got monkeypox. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna get next? Elephant feet?
Jesus Christ.
Elephant.
All right.
I resent that remark. I have size 13s.
That's right. On behalf
Well-
of the fat men everywhere, piss off.
Now that Noah is done ranting and raving about WWE for the time being, let's turn it over to Tony
Oh
Khan
Lord, here we go.
I see
Oh
Crown Jewel.
shit!
I got
and the
scared.
comments that he had to make about Crown Jewel.
Great Twitter activity as a child talking about country. Redacted.
I might lose my signal here, guys. So just if I pop out, I'll pop back in a second.
Oh, that's fine.
Quote,
Yeah, you
we're
go.
running a lot of great shows around the Northeast. It's so many great wrestling markets in one geographic region. I'll say it. It's the crown jewel of wrestling markets. The real crown jewel of wrestling markets. Not some BS overseas in Saudi Arabia. The real crown jewel. New York City is where you want to be. To which Booker T had a rebuttal.
Oh shit.
Worry about yourself. Worry about your company. Worry about the turmoil that's going on inside of AEW right now and try to fix that before you start thinking about what WWE is doing.
Yep.
Sometimes you earn respect as well. You don't earn it by going out there talking. You earn it by going out there and doing it. I think I would have a whole lot more respect for Tony Khan if he handled his business, and we all know what that is. We saw the press conference.
Wow, Booker T with an actual smart take. He's on point.
I agree.
I agree 100%. Why? Why provocate yourself as a Twitter child that just exemplifies the toxicity in the so-called internet wrestling community? Lead by example, damn it, if you really are an alternative solution to the wrestling industry.
I've been saying this. I said this last week. You want to freaking lead by example. Don't talk. Do. The first thing you should be doing is freeze every one of them motherfuckers' contracts that got into that scuffle at All Out. That should be the first order of business right now. The fact that there's even talk about they're buying out freaking Punk's contract. Like, why would you spend more money when you have so much money on the fucking table? There is not a lot of opportunities where you actually have a great fucking four-way for a world title right at your fucking fingertips if you could get everybody to get over their bullshit and do business. This is one of these times.
Yeah, because you figure you've got Punk, you've got Omega, you've got Paige, and you've got MJF.
Yep.
I ain't even kidding when I say this. You have the only two people that are really not intertwined in a sense are MJF and Kenny. You can easily build that up on television. That's like the only missing piece. Everything else, whether it's shoot, whether it's kayfabe, whatever it is, there is fucking story there. You have money. First off, the people in question have what? We got Hangman, Omega, MJF, Punk. Arguably, you got your two most long-standing programs that AEW's ever done. Right there in and of itself. You got history between MJF and Punk. You got history between Omega and Hangman, Hangman and Punk, Punk and freaking Omega now, apparently.
And James, I keep saying it. Double or Nothing 2019, the birth of AEW.
And MJF
and MJF were there for the championship presentation.
Yep. So it's all there, and we're not gonna get it because
child behavior.
And the fact that we're even picking favorites. What? Okay. Yes. Is Punk fucking? Should Punk just be fucking shit on for what he did? Yeah. But why is nobody giving that same energy to freaking the Elite? That's ridiculous.
Agreed.
The fact that nobody has given the same crap to the Elite and to Hangman, nobody. The freaking Hangman is rewarded with a fucking title match next week.
Yep.
What the fuck is that?
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agreed. I told Jeff.
Behavior.
I told Jeff. I think it was off camera. I was like, at the end of the day, you need to hold the Elite even more accountable than you hold Punk.
Punk, yes.
They're EVPs in the company. You expect them to lead by example.
Private locker room.
Yep.
You expect them to lead by example. You expect your EVPs to set the tone. And if the locker room sees the EVPs get away with it, they're going to think they can get away with it.
Exactly. But hold on. I will say this. Hangman is not an EVP. He's not.
No, I know
It
he's
doesn't
not,
matter.
but
He's fucking
Omega and the Bucks
buddies with him.
are. You know, Hangman is still, to take a quote from the Usos, he's been down since day one-ish. So although he may not be an EVP, he was one of the first people to get signed. He's one of the originals.
Right.
But I don't know if you could call him necessarily nowadays the elite, because we do talk about Heyman, but at the end of the day, guys, Heyman wasn't involved in this scuffle.
No.
I am so annoyed.
With all due respect, James,
Go ahead.
Heyman right now is an innocent bystander of everyone else's bullshit.
No, he isn't. Now he is. He wasn't before. He's the reason all this went way out of hand. So why are we not?
He definitely lit the fire on the coals.
No
I remember.
shit,
Double
he
or
did.
nothing. Yeah.
It's fucking. It infuriates me that I did the freaking live reactions, and they had about 4 other people they could have picked to challenge for the title on TV, and they picked the one guy that they never ever should have picked.
Yeah.
Picking favorites in any scenario, regardless of how right the one party was over the other, is the absolute downfall of any fucking company, especially one that's only been 3 years in. What the fuck was Tony thinking here?
I gotta do something for Wednesday, apparently. I don't know. Or
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You know what I said when that happened right after? And they were advertising Dynamite. Oh, great. Can't wait to not watch it and work on my show instead.
Well, it is a Tuesday night, which is going to be weird enough in its own right.
I'm sorry. Tuesday night. Oh, my God. All the difference. Not watching. I have better things to do than to deal with fucking children. And by the way, for those people that are like, oh, we're on the side of the fucking Bucks. If any one of you in the fucking locker room are thinking that, read my lips. You're no better than the fuckers that were involved in that fucking melee. Because if you're doing that, none of you are professional wrestlers. Quote me.
I don't think there's anybody in the locker room right now that's even thinking about that shit, James. They're all doing their own thing. And at this point, you look at the AEW environment, everybody right now, I think they're doing better. It seems like they're doing better.
You know what's crazy? When you have Conan and Booker fucking saying those takes, but when fucking Glenn, everybody forgets Disco Inferno was the first one with this fucking take. When Disco Inferno is the reasonable guy here, you fucked up.
Yeah, that's an accurate statement, and that pretty much just wraps the bow on this. But kudos to Chris Jericho, John Moxley, and Bryan Danielson continuing the longevity with the actual, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
sensible people on the wrestling roster in AEW.
Yeah.
But that
MJF too. MJF.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
And again, you see the presentation of the product. You see who is being showcased. You see what it looks like now. The morale is definitely better, it seems. And really, right now, we're not even thinking about that bullshit or any of those names. We're trying to move forward.
But that,
and I can respect
and I get it. Move forward.
But again, Tony Khan, let's go back. Let's go back to the heart of this, though. The beginning of this topic. Tony Khan, stop being a petulant Twitter child, you idiot.
Well, I mean,
Jeff, did you catch the quote?
No.
Okay. Really quickly, so Jeff can come back in.
Oh, we're running a lot of great shows around the Northeast.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that, and I actually saw it before you brought it up. What a
and then Booker T's rebuttal.
Okay, Booker's rebuttal. Oh, yeah, I saw that too. And again, we talked about it. Actually, I brought it up that I talked about it with my buddy Travis on the way down to the club the other night. They weren't talking about WWE's press conference after the weekend because accurate, Elizabeth, 110%. It's stupid.
Burn, baby, burn. I love that
song. Hashtag Splatboy approved.
Yes.
Hashtag the whole damn room approved. Glenn Gilbert's
I agree.
Flipping idiot. Anyway.
But again, the fact that he's the voice of reason in all this when he was the first one with this type of take.
Well, even a blind squirrel can find their nuts at some point.
Damn. Noah is on one today. I'm here for it. Anyway, yeah. The fact is, nobody was talking about WWE's press conference because Tony's press conference looked like a circus, whereas WWE's press conference after the Cardiff show looked like a professionally conducted situation.
Yep.
When you can audibly hear Chris Jericho get up from the table after he was done with his part of the scrum and tell Tony shit was going down, and that blipping idiot still stood out there for, 15, 20 more minutes and buried himself even further, that just shows me that he, as much as he has done a lot of right in the people he's brought in and the television he's booked up to a point, he is still in so far over his head, his hair is standing up on end trying to get back out of the hole he's dug himself.
Exactly.
And that's just the long and short of it. He is acting like, as Noah has very eloquently pointed out, a petulant child on Twitter. Stepchild, that's how freaking redhead. I'm going back to the same topic. It's just so ridiculous how this person is a owner, president, general manager of what is being called the number 2 wrestling company, professional wrestling, sports, whatever you want to call it, company on the planet, and he's coming off like a grade A buffoon on the regular.
The fact that Tony is doing this again after stop even talking about the WWE when you
Seriously.
Absolutely. That is
in your company.
That is
Seriously.
my biggest beef with Tony Khan, and that's part of what kept me away from watching AEW for so long. Was the fact that everything I heard Tony Khan's name with was some kind of something WWE related. Whether it was the signing of a former WWE talent or some kind of pot shot trying to bury them with some kind of snide comment. I never heard Tony Khan's name in any kind of business sense with a positive take on anything with his company.
Except for ratings. He only just tweets about ratings.
Yeah. So here's, and again, this is from, I'm going to get accused of smooching the Bischoff booty again, but I really don't give a fuck at this point. The difference between Tony Khan doing it in 2019 to 2022 and Bischoff doing it in 95 to 96 when they were starting to kick their ass, look at the product and look at the business overall within WWF back then and WWE now. The WWF was in a decline on every facet of business and creative. Across the board. It was easy to take pot shots at WWE. Was it right of Bischoff? Probably not. But they were a much easier target. Even if creative has been stanky enough to keep the two of you away for as long as it has, business has never been better. They are making money. They're making so much money they could print their own and distribute it, and they'd probably still get away with it with the government. Like, seriously. So
kind of like Disney dollars.
Hey, can't. Ask them if you're watching. So I honestly don't understand the philosophy at this point, because if you're going to attack who you perceive as your competition, but the competition is by and large so far ahead of you on every facet, on every point. Well, yeah, agreed, Seth, and that's the point we're making here. It's like I said, Bischoff taking pot shots made WWE go, maybe we need to change our perspective. The bottom line is,
you went muffled again. Muffled.
Whether it's Triple H and Stephanie in charge of creative and business now, or whether it was Vince in charge of both at the time AEW was founded, they have no reason to change their approach when they're winning on every point they need to win. And Triple H burying his own brand by telling Tony, "Congratulations, you beat our developmental show." When he took over, it's like, yeah, that's Triple H kind of hindsight burying his own shit and kind of retrospectively changing the narrative. Which, you know what, that's what the boss is supposed to do. I don't see where Tony thinks he can get away with the continued bullshit. And yes, we all agree that Crown Jewel is not exactly WWE's most shining moment. That's why Country Redacted is not covered as a watch along on this channel. because my play-by-play man just won't be there. Flat out, he's not going to be there. I'm not going to worry about covering it. It's simple as that. As you would say, simple as that. We're not going to be there. We'll watch it. And the thing is, Saturday morning, more than likely, I'm going to be dog-ass tired from working at the mouse. I'm not going to get up.
I didn't wake up today until noon, so F that.
Yeah. When I likely have to be at the mouse until 2 a.m., I'm not getting up to watch a show at 9. That's not happening. I'm sleeping my ass in. Just not going to worry about it. But it's a paid show for them, which means they can go over there and literally do Invisible Wrestler versus, Wooden Broom, and still they're going to make every freaking cent on that show. They don't have to care.
Where do you think Vacant got most of his championship wins?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And honestly, the difference is they still at least go over there with the exception of freaking, damn it, with the exception of, the fact that it's blood money and the fact that, the Fiend character was completely destroyed over there. Little things, yes, but the bottom line is the bottom line. They're in the business of making money in the business. And whether we as a group here or our audience like it or not, they make bank going over to Country Redacted. So Tony can take shots at being the crown jewel of pay-per-view and being in New York all he wants. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan don't give a beep what Tony Khan has to say about their crown jewel franchise.
Exactly. And this also comes down to another thing, too. The access and freedom and power you believe you have in a keyboard known as the Twitter. Yeah. Again, Twitter didn't exist, probably a whole different mindset. Because, Twitter allows you to speak your mind and voice like this.
Can I add to that point?
I don't want to believe he's a petulant child at heart, but I do believe that a lot of this is influenced by that community.
I want to add to that point because
go for it, James.
Because this is the thing that I was gonna save this for J Side 95 for the side of things, but I'll say it here. Fuck it.
Go for it.
I want you to imagine Tony Khan continues to do this, and great. He's done 1 million 4 weeks in a row. Great, and I'm happy about that. That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
However, if you're taking these pot shots and you have all this internal drama going on and you are doing nothing to do what is necessary to get everybody on the fucking same page, including the people in the fucking melee, answer me this. What the fuck makes you think that people are going to stay at that fucking million mark? You're going to lose fucking viewership.
Absolutely.
Guess what? Guess what happened to WWE when they were pissing people off and actively shitting on fans? They tuned the fuck out. When they were actively telling people don't watch the product, they're still making money hand over fist because Vince knows business, which is what saved their ass. But what did? They fucking left. And I don't know, just kind of considering this, I don't think you have the same business savvy as Vince did, buddy.
No.
Thank God. Otherwise, he'd be doing their WWE.
No, I mean, and to further your point, James, the 3 people on camera right now that you can actually see, because Jeff has turned into John Cena, all walked away from WWE at one point.
Yep.
Exactly.
All of us only recently this year started to come back around to them.
Bro,
Me a lot sooner than Noah and James did, but still, you guys have just finally started to come around to them.
Yeah, and by the way, Report Card Radio, you couldn't pay me because I don't believe in blood money to cover Country Redacted. With that shit I've heard coming out of that place.
What if we get you a T-shirt that says Country Redacted? Will you cover it just so you can wear the shirt on there?
That just sounds so wrong.
Or hell, JJ.
That way we make money off of Country Redacted.
Right?
Well, JJ, put up the graphic. We're gonna get this shirt in the books first. If you've already got it loaded.
I uploaded it, but I figured I would save it for the shills.
Right.
But
dude, not my NXT, damn it!
But I digress.
Black and gold NXT used, by the way. So there you go.
Brilliant. The bottom line is, as far as this topic goes, Tony Khan, act like an adult, get off Twitter, focus on your business. This is going to continue no matter what.
Therein lies the fundamental fucking problem. Every one of these people involved in that goddamn situation on social media should have gotten the hell off of social media.
Well, James, it's like we said, or a lot of us said, I should say, I'm not going
damn.
to throw everybody. When the previous president was in the chair in the Oval Office, if they'd taken away his phone, he'd have had a lot less trouble because he wouldn't have been on Twitter. So it just comes down to, I've said this since 2009 when they launched that app, that site. You should have a questionnaire of common sense before you're allowed to use Twitter. And if you can't get at least a 75, you don't get to use Twitter.
The problem is you can't measure common sense like an intelligent quotient. Even if you could, they're not going to at this point because of how much money, how much attention, how much revenue just being like a shithead allows you to be on Twitter still brings their app attention and the money. Because again, it's usage. We're profiting off stupidity. Yay!
Yeah, you're profiting. Congratulations, profiting for yourselves. Now, what about the goddamn company you work for, you idiots?
They don't care. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Twitter doesn't answer to anybody because they're not part of the Meta group like Facebook and Instagram are. Twitter's not onto themselves, so they don't have to care about letting people get away with acting like complete simpletons.
Honestly,
and simpleton is a polite term, that's for sure.
With the way Tony runs his mouth, he very much reminds me of Paul Heyman back in the original ECW.
He tries it.
Yeah.
The way that he would run his mouth about Bischoff and especially about the networks.
Except when Paul Heyman did it, he actually had some freaking basis of facts to do it. Even if he was full of shit by the end, you still believed in what he said and he actually had conviction.
Right.
Yeah. Well, again, Twitter does not breed actual personality with what you tweet in 240 characters or less.
No.
Or emojis.
But it damn sure gives you a good idea of what it is, and you wish it wasn't. Tony
The
Khan,
only thing I use the Twitter for is to promote Renegade's reviews and our live streams.
That's all I do. That's all I do.
I say just enjoy wrestling, and I commentate during live wrestling, and then it's like, click, bye, see ya. I literally last night, James, you weren't even on the call when Eric did his inquiring on the instability of this internet wrestling community. And
I love Eric to death, by the way.
God bless that man.
I couldn't have done that again.
But literally,
I just can't.
As soon as we were done talking, I was like, hey guys, you see my phone? Power button. Click. Bye, see you on Monday. And there you go. And
I was over it.
Radio questions real quick. Yes, and I respect that. But again, it's a different outlook for me when it comes to the presentation, the preservation, and the overall morality in the state of professional wrestling.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, and I think I've made this public already, but like when I said that if MJF didn't return at All Out, I was gonna be gone. I was like, oh yay, everything's gonna be great. I think we were all riding high. Punk does the bullshit, and then everything gets completely blown the hell up.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh great, so it will never end.
No.
So now this is essentially what I've done, and the only reason I'm doing this is because I made a fucking commitment, and I actually like to keep my word, unlike some people on fucking Twitter, especially in the AEW camp. Other than pay-per-views and special events on TBS or whatever the hell, you will not catch me dead watching every week. I'm off that bandwagon now. I haven't even watched the past 2 weeks, and I'm not planning on watching this week or the week following, unless it's a special show or pay-per-view. You ain't gonna catch me watching it.
James, I respect your conviction.
This was a special show.
Yeah, exactly.
The Grand Slam.
And I covered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but,
it's
like I said, James, I respect your conviction, but I look at the actual rest of the roster that are, as far as we know, why the internet tries to make everybody their own journalist inquirer for the tabloids.
Ugh.
The rest of that roster, you look at Jungle Boy, Ray Phoenix, Darby Allin, you look at Jay Cargill, despite the fact the TBS title needs an actual person besides her wearing it. You look at Tony Storm, Serena Deeb, now Saraya. I'm like, this is good stuff. I'm going to get it because I respect these people, not necessarily the fact that I'm watching stuff in wrestling, but I'm watching somebody that I respect. It's not like I'm seeing Tony Khan on my TV every week, nor following him on the Twitter, so I'm not going to let some petty bullshit ruin me as a fan, but I respect your conviction.
For me, it's already done it. They already
Well,
because you know
break
why?
Well,
It bleeds into
you and
television.
I are not the same type of
Right,
people,
right.
clearly.
And I'm not begrudging you for watching it.
No, nor
My
am
whole
I.
thing is they bleed it into their fucking television. It bleeds into their show, bro. There's already enough fucking turmoil in the goddamn world. What the hell makes you think that anybody is going to want to tune into AEW Dynamite and watch it and then have the same bullshit drama happen right there in front of your face? Whether it's on a press scrum, a freaking TV show, and they mention it, even in passing, who wants to deal with that shit?
Well, it's not like I actually see it during the actual presentation, but I get what you're saying.
Right.
What's up, Jeff?
Go
To be
ahead.
fair, they couldn't not, at least in passing, mention it on the Wednesday after All Out because Tony had to vacate the titles. That was just what that was.
Right. He took steps.
They've been very
they've
been very careful to tiptoe away from it. For the like I'd say about 95% away from it. You'll occasionally hear the Acclaim do Acclaim things with it. You know,
they haven't recently, thankfully.
Right, yeah. Moxley brought it up in his Raw promo after All Out, and that was really it. It became about who was going to be the champion. It became about Chris Jericho going after his 8th world title. It became about MJF, pulling the strings and being that devil and always, laying in wait. It became about everything except, the EVPs and Punk, and that's what it needs to be for the first thing. So, also, I honestly enjoyed Wednesday night show. It was the one show this week I actually got to watch in real time on the East Coast feed because TBS East on Hulu is my friend. So it was cool to see that show unfold. It was wonderful to see Chris Jericho and Claudio Castagnoli open a damn wrestling show and not only have a great match, but have such a non-Ring of Honor finish. Rekabani lost his damn mind.
It was brilliant.
Silken involved in the match, which I thought was tremendous.
It was a good show.
Jericho is such a piece of shit, and I love Chris for that. I love that Chris is still embracing this side of himself because you get him away from the camera, he is the most chill, awesome person in wrestling a lot of the time. But man, you turn that red light on, he is a muckerfucker, and he loves that he is.
He also loves the crowd doing that Judas thing. He embraced the 20,000 at Upper Ash doing that. And then as soon as the bell ring, realize what you're dealing with, our Ring of Honor.
The fact that Aaron on Wednesday night after Dynamite said that Chris Jericho has him interested in Ring of Honor, when I can count probably on one hand in the 20 years he and I have been doing this shit that he was legit invested in what was going to happen at still in Ring of Honor pay-per-view or live or special event.
Right, because we still wonder that.
He's invested on who's going to challenge Chris, probably at Full Gear, and he's interested to see what happens next, which when Tony bought the company, he was like, okay, whatever. But now he's interested because you have Chris Jericho as the focal point of Ring of Honor, which
I would love to see Daniel Garcia be screwed out of the pure title through Jericho, #shenanigans, and then challenge Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship to become the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah. You know what the finish of the night made me think? No, I brought this up on Thursday. JJ was there when I brought it up. Bryan Danielson losing the AEW championship match. He was rather a prolific and damn good Ring of Honor champion.
True.
Jericho's right there. He
are
and
one
Bryan
and
are right
one
there together.
Yeah, he and Jericho are 1-1. You do bring up a valid point.
Rubber match for the Ring of Honor World title. Dude, take my goddamn money. You got that MJF and Mox on the same show. Here's my Disney check, Tony. Here you go, brother.
At 2 matches versus 14 matches. That's all I need. Thank you. I'll put this out there right now. Grand Slam felt like a pay-per-view more than All Out did for me.
Seriously, Grand Slam was at least Wednesday. I still haven't seen Rampage yet. But Grand Slam was so well paced and didn't feel like they had to pace 14 matches into a show like it did All Out because they advertised 5 matches. I think we ended up getting 6, maybe a little bit, maybe one more. Wednesday was so good.
They did a great job.
They did a great job, and like you guys said, the in-ring wrestling and even the backstage stuff that they did have is fine. They just need to do one thing. They need to break Tony's thumb so he can stop tweeting
and then we're good to go.
Exactly.
Not just.
Well-
It's not just Tony though. And,
No. I
it's
understand that, but
EVPs too.
no.
And-
James, I disagree now, and I say that because none of the offending parties has said shit since Chicago, except Tony.
No, they just did their silly little pot shots like Kenny Omega doing a fucking skit on BTE at a Target.
Well, okay,
Give me a break.
and that's fine if you're a avid BTE viewer, which I'm not, and I
I'm
definitely
not
wouldn't be
either.
after
I just
Chicago.
saw the clip.
Yeah. I definitely. The last thing I would do is tune into BTE after Chicago. I have zero interest in seeing what those assholes are going to do now because.
Well, apparently it's canceled. I wonder why.
Well, good. You know, it's one of those.
Hiatus, actually.
I have said this for years, and I don't step back from it for a moment. When you have on air, in ring, performing talent, also in the office, you might as well have a big crock pot of disaster.
Yep.
Like, okay, Mike, I understand that the pacing, you know what? Do we really, is Mox winning his third world championship on a situation that could have been well avoided really a need for a celebration? And Aaron was talking about, oh, well, you know, the acclaimed confetti. You know what? The acclaimed earned that shit. They got that crowd in Chicago to believe and make people want to see them win the championship then. So the fact that they got their moment on the Grand Slam special and people in New York were all up in it.
Where the most people were going to watch too. The most people were going to have the eyes on this show.
Well,
Way more than
Slam,
it
they had
and
upper audience than usual.
And again, people paid what they paid to watch All Out, or people were in, you know, whatever the hell building they were in Chicago, I forget already. And they got to see a cool moment, but a lot of those people felt really robbed by the acclaimed not becoming champions because they got themselves into a situation where they were organically over with that crowd, and organically being over happens so rarely nowadays.
You gotta capitalize on when it happens too. They did it.
It's almost like they kept their freaking thumbs out of Twitter and just made music videos and they got over.
Okay.
What a concept.
Okay. The pop in Chicago when they came out and during the match in Chicago was definitely crazy. I'm not even going to argue with that comment. But if you listen to that pop when they won the titles in front of all those people, that was amazing. I'll tell you what, Dylan, when I finally got home and settled in Wednesday night to watch the show, and Jericho was the first thing out, and he was trying to tell me about his day, I was like, nope, Judas, wait, you got 50,000 people, you wait.
Yep.
Because I wanted to hear that crowd, and even he was at the door of my room going, damn. I'm like, dude, I told you, Bubba. People love this guy. They love to hate this guy. They want to be in the Judas moment that got robbed from me because Jericho cut it off his damn self. Run the other comment back. What are you saying? Facts? What are facts? Even at the end, when they were cheering for the thing. Yes, even at the end when they were cheering for the acclaimed, it was still a bigger moment on television because more people saw it.
Exactly. It was more publicly showcased, so more people are able to embrace it. It comes down not necessarily to the when, but the how. And as far as how they approach the moment, I felt they did it right.
Yeah, and granted, what I'd like to see a little bit more of, you know, the moment with Mox and Bryan after that incredible match, yes, I would have. But you know what? Those two guys are the exact opposite of the acclaim. They're not flashy. They are not sizzled. They are steak.
Yep.
You had two guys beat the shit out of each other.
I love
forced one guy into submission. You had a championship win, and that's what it needed to be. Like, here, there's the belt. Boom, we're off the air. Right. Talk about it Wednesday night when you go out there. Have Mox go out there, show Bryan the respect. Have Bryan come out and show him the respect back. Have Regal come out there and go, yep, I did that. My boys did that. And that's all you need. You don't need a big confetti pyro moment. This isn't Daniel Bryan beating John Cena in 2013. It's not even
close.
It's a completely different animal. And the fact that enough people are bitching about there wasn't a celebration for that, it's like, guys, you're missing the point completely.
Well, again, short-sightedness. What a wild common term in today's society.
Well, Jericho getting that celebration on Wednesday, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society arranging a full segment of celebration is so Chris Jericho, so
Yes.
sports entertainment. It's perfect. The Acclaimed celebrating midway through the show with their title win is a perfect hybrid. The Acclaimed are great wrestlers, but they're also tremendous sports entertainers. That was perfect in the moment. At the end of the night, you had two wrestlers competing for a championship that is advertised as a wrestling, not sports entertainment championship. And it ended the way it ended. A brief moment, hands up in the air, boom, off the air. Good night.
About to say, James, how often do you actually see confetti celebrations for a UFC championship win versus just the announcement and the raised hand?
Seriously, the only reason we got pyro, or
True.
not pyro, but the only reason you got streamers and bullshit in Ring of Honor is because the crowd made the streamers a thing.
Right. That was literally a crowd-related thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Anyway,
People
sorry, we
just-
went way off on a tangent.
Yeah, true.
People just need to quit nitpicking the fact that we got a hell of a fucking show Wednesday night.
Exactly. Just enjoy wrestling, for God's sake. Did you forget what it meant to be a fan because you have to literally believe everything you read on a damn app?
Yeah. Mike, had Rampage been a live show, I would have had Jericho and Claudio main event. But
Agreed.
because it was taped, I think there was less of a potential audience. Even going after SmackDown from 10 to midnight, there's less potential for an audience to be invested. Like you pointed out, they gave Wardlow and whoever it was their moment. It's like, no, man, you want a banger of an opener on Wednesday night live television. You get the sports entertainment, Chris Jericho beating the wrestler Claudio and just piss the people off. I thought everything about Wednesday's show was perfect.
Same.
Yeah, they hit on all cylinders for sure.
I'm sorry, JJ. I completely took this thing off the rails. I apologize. It just the whole thing just irritates the fuck out of me that they keep ragging on this show.
No,
tried-
I will not rag on the show. I enjoyed the show like wholeheartedly. I just said like I physically can't do the thing.
Well,
watching
basically
every week.
what Jeff did,
That's
he
just my
domino affected into a different aspect when it comes to Twitter showing your ass, but once again, making you forget what it means to simply be a wrestling fan. Businessman or not, Tony Khan, we can all agree, is definitely a wrestling fan. But he needs to act more like a businessman now more than ever. Get the fuck off Twitter. And for all you other idiots out there that believe that you are smarter than him or are your own journalist, turn off your damn app and learn what it means to be a wrestling fan again and just enjoy the damn product. Or don't watch.
You don't see the hierarchy management at WWE doing anything like that for a reason.
That's the reason. That's the reason I'm over it, man. Like for me, it's just like,
and I'm not gonna let it break me. And I'm not on Twitter. I don't follow the Twitter. I don't have notifications. I don't scroll.
But therein lies the problem. Like for me, I thought this company was gonna actually do that, and they've done everything opposite.
Right.
Everything else I was willing to ignore. This I'm not so much. You know why? Because if nothing else, it robbed Max to me. Because Max, yes, he's gonna be the number one draw no matter what. But how much bigger of a draw he could have been if everybody could have gotten their shit together and done business right.
Yeah, and
it's one of those what ifs at this point, James.
Yeah, I think the further away we get from All Out, the better the better off Max will be. We now return you to our producer and host, JJ Williams, who's trying to
now
get
we
the show
return things back to JJ Williams.
I don't even see much of a purpose anymore because your whole side tangent took me where I wanted to go.
Yes!
Y'all already covered it, so there's no point in me even going there now.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, talk about your take or anything you want
to
say.
You still haven't gone.
My question to you guys was going to be, is AEW getting on the right track with these?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, as a show, yes.
Yeah, and again, to be fair, I went in cold. I didn't know the topics because it wasn't even sure I was going to be here tonight. So
I never know anything. I'm just here for the party, and you already got 2 rants out of me. So JJ,
I know, and I do love the rants, but I mean, it's like I tried to interject and stop you guys a couple of times so that I could reel it in and guide it to where I needed to take it, and y'all just kept going and going like the Energizer buddies. So
I think it was on me. It was on me, honestly.
I just let you guys do your thing.
You started something, then Jeff collaborated but took it in a different direction, and then I basically just brought both your points together when it comes to me and my simple outlook as a fan.
But yeah, JJ, I do appreciate the question because like we all got to eventually, it seems like they're moving in the right direction, and they are doing everything they can to make sure that people, at least they're attempting to make people move away from what happened at that scrum.
And they're actually moving forward with other organic people in AEW. For me, Grand Slam felt like a foundation. And those pictures, click, 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 click. I see what you mean. Jericho, the face of Ring of Honor now, a sports entertainer representing professional wrestling. The Acclaim, organically grown tag team, new AEW World Tag Team Champions. John Moxley, AEW World Champion. And you build a program off MJF where MJF has not beaten this man, and he still tries to use his past demons against him. And then as you bring up that last graphic, that is so beautiful, this now her house, Soraya could be literally the person to move the AEW women's division forward. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, I feel compelled to say on behalf of my correcting Aaron Rift, it is Soraya.
Is this Soraya?
It is Soraya, yes.
We all thought it was Soraya.
I corrected Aaron.
I could have swore they said Soraya in the movie.
They did, I know, but she made it a point to go on the tweeter and say it's Soraya. I'm like, okay, Paige, we'll make sure we get it right for the future. Yeah.
Yes. So people,
either way, whatever you want to call her, the former Paige definitely, like Noah said, has the potential to be that needle mover that the women's division needs to go in that direction, because as much as some of us like Britt Baker, and much some of us hate Britt Baker, it can't be about Britt all the time. She has the personality. She definitely has the crowd either eating out of the palm of her hand or wanting to shove that pie back in her face, one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But Jamie Hayter not having the trigger fully pulled bothers me.
That chaps my ass to take a quote from you.
Me, man.
And I know it bugs Noah, because I was looking forward to some sort of payoff in that, and it's just like, fucker, really?
Damn it!
But
it was just a ruse the whole time. It was so stupid.
It was stupid, and the fact, if we get Soraya in the ring as a competitor and her, literally backing Britt's entourage away without doing a goddamn thing except being there, that's a good story to build off of if she's cleared to go. If she's not cleared to go, then that was also equally stupid. Yes, the moment was wonderful. Yes, it was great to see Soraya get that pop she got in front of that New York crowd. But if she's backing people down and then not backing it up with in-ring competition, then it's going to be a big 55,000 fart in church.
Really, it's going to be empty. It's going to be an empty moment. That's what it comes down to. You gotta have something going forward off of this. Yeah. And yes, I do believe Jamie Hayter should be a member of the Combat Club, and until she takes Britt's freaking head up with a lariat, that's not going to happen. I was expecting that on Wednesday. Instead, it looks like we're going to have a 6-month program.
JJ's at a disadvantage when it comes to Paige Soraya, because he was watching the business as she was really starting to come into her own, debut on the main roster, have that moment with AJ Lee. He was already starting to filter away. So, but it's one of those, she has the chance. Even if she's not medically cleared 100%, she has a fresh start, which and again, having the opportunity to see what she's going to do is wonderful. Having Ruby go down with an injury is just heartbreaking.
So damn badly.
So bad, because she was on the way. Thunder Rosa having whatever drama she's having, whatever injury she has, is bad business as well. So they need to be able to recover. They've got Tony as the interim champion. They've got a decent amount of women in that main event picture right now. And there's always Jade Berg for the time being. So I think, yes, they're moving in the right direction, to answer JJ's question that he asked about 6 hours ago.
I agree.
There is potential to keep the train moving forward. As we say at work, we keep moving forward around here. We never look back on things. They cannot look back at All Out anymore. That's it. It's done. That table was what it was. Those microphones were what they were. And that's it. We have to just keep moving forward. If CM Punk comes back, great. Make him earn the trust of the audience and the trust of the boys back. If EVPs are back off suspension, make them do the same thing. If they're going to be gone, then let them fucking be gone and don't bring them up anymore on TV, in the locker room, whatever. If we bring them up as fans, that's our choice. If we bring them up on stuff like this, that's our decision to make. But a company one way or the other. If they're going to be brought back eventually, then talk about them when they do come back. If they're never being brought back, button your fucking beak about them and let them be gone.
Exactly. And you've noticed on the weekly product, none of those names have been mentioned in any capacity whatsoever.
That's the one thing Tony is doing right on Twitter. He's not mentioning any of those names.
He's not even having them in their advertising.
No.
So, JJ, yeah, I do think they're going for it. And to go back up Jeff, I'm like, okay, then do Jamie Hayter versus Saraya. I'm all for that program. And the way that this main women's title picture now has 6 and 7 potential candidates, that's good depth. They finally have some depth, even if it is under circumstances. That word needs to be banned or damned, in my opinion. But again, with the World Championship, the Trios Championships, the Women's Championship, the Tag Team Championships, and the Ring of Honor Championship, I'm just waiting for the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view at this point. AEW, I feel, is definitely taking steps in a lot of ways moving forward. There are still... Okay, that was weird. There are still some things they got to work on. Clearly, we all can agree to that in our own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we can at least say there is more momentum than backtracking.
Rampage was an indicator, by the way. Grand Slam Rampage. Jesus Christ.
Poor JJ, dude.
Go ahead, JJ. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What this shows me is that they're trying to get away from the latest WWE cast-offs being champions. Right now, the only person with some stank on them that has a belt is Tony Storm.
Right.
Yes, agreed.
You figure Jericho was pretty much there when the company started.
Yep.
Same with Moxley.
Yep.
Swerve and Lee have now lost those belts.
Yep.
You know, AEW to me was quickly heading down the TNA Impact route, where the latest WWE cast-off would automatically become a champion to try to gain some traction. You figure you had Claudio Castagnoli, you had Swerve and Strickland, you had Punk, you know.
No.
And this looks to me, that was the first thing that crossed my mind watching Dynamite. Now, I still haven't seen Rampage. I know enough to know that no titles changed hands, hence the reason there's no images here. Otherwise, I would have taken them off of the tweeter like I did with these.
Tweeter.
But that was the first thing that crossed my mind, was like, okay, they're getting away from WWE star holding the belt and pushing things back towards their originals, their pillars, if you will. You know, they always talk about the pillars that helped build AEW. And while these guys may not be any of those names necessarily, they are people that have been with the company pretty much since the beginning. Jeff, you have your hand raised, but you're muted.
I know. I haven't muted because Motorcycle Guy apparently bred and multiplied and made more bikes.
You're also muffled, by the way.
I know. I'm trying. I noticed today. I actually on my way over here. Ricky Starks. Somebody asked him about being a pillar. He's like, "Don't put me in a pillar conversation. We're beyond that with me at this point." I tweeted back and I'm like, "Man, you've been a step above talent since before the letters AEW even appeared on any broadcast screen."
Damn right.
I'm so happy to see you shine so bright. Ricky Starks is still a friend, and I'm so happy that he's still shining as bright as he was the day he signed with that company, because they had the potential for him to be a really big deal in the NWA and on the indie circuit. And he was like, no, I'm investing in myself and taking this AEW money. And, you know, yeah, the FTW thing, the thing with Team Taz was what it was, but there's another guy that has so much untapped potential. He might be his own beer tap at this point. He's got a keg for days.
Yeah, he's
ready to
a
be
future
distributed.
AEW World Champion. A program with him and MJF, take my damn money.
Yes,
I agree. Seriously, him and Max could take that shit. If we were in territory days, they could take that shit all over the country. They
could main event a pay-per-view. There, I said it.
I loved everything that they're doing with Ricky and Hobbs, especially. Yes. Like what they're doing is great with those two, which is crazy because like I feel like they got nothing for Hook, and he feels like the redheaded stepchild in all of this.
Yeah,
and He's more than ready to go here.
Yeah, he still seems kind of like he's not quite fully
finding
baked
his footing.
dough in the
Finding his
oven.
footing.
Like there's
Maybe
still
not.
like maybe he's ready to be taken out and like set on this windowsill to cool, but he's not like there yet. Excuse me. Hobbs has been there longer than people realize. When I went on the cruise, Hobbs was kind of looked at as the other guy on Team Taz besides Ricky.
Ooh.
Man, they went out there, him and Styles, and had a match with Stark. Excuse me, Ricky Stark. I keep Ricky Styles, my freaking old announcing buddy from.
I mean, he is phenomenal in his own way.
Yeah,
It's absolute. Continue.
Yeah, it's just he and Ricky had a great tag match that the program was built on the cruise with Cassidy and Jericho. And man, Hobbs was over like Rover with them with that cruise crowd. And I really didn't even give Hobbs a second thought until the last night that they had wrestling. I'm like, dude, they go back to TV. This guy needs to be on right now. And they did. They went to bat with him and Ricky as a tag team. I was like, shit, man, that's great. And now they're splitting them up and they're doing the right thing. They're having the team split up and they're having them beef, which is what you're supposed to do.
It's organic tag team chemistry in
Yes.
the beginning that grew and exploded into an invested rivalry where both are coming out stronger as singles.
This is the first time. This is the first time, and again, this is brought up all the time. It's a comparison that works for days. This is the first time that I've seen a team split up in my fandom where one guy is not the definitive Marty Jannetty, is not the definitive Jim Neidhart. Like both of these guys have the potential to go places.
Exactly.
And I think that's great.
Wardlow TNT Championship picture.
Seriously, put Ricky Starks in a program with MJF after Full Gear and just go ahead and have my Disney check direct deposit into Tony Khan's bank account. Like for real.
Yeah, imagine if you see that match at the Cow Palace next year at Revolution.
Do not threaten me with spending all my money.
I think your mom would have something to say about that. But I digress.
Yeah, seriously. Trip to Frisco, pay-per-view tickets, merchandise will be a thing. Yeah, no. I'll be a broke ass 40-year-old on my birthday.
So we now move on to the main event.
Oh boy.
And as some of you may know, Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit has been featured at house shows, during commercial breaks at WWE events. And there's all the speculation and rumors about what the White Rabbit could be leading to.
It won't be tea time.
And I threw this into the group chat. I actually got a little bit of feedback from you guys about this. So we're going to go ahead and throw this up and we're going to discuss it more elaborately. What if the White Rabbit teases actually means a return from Bray Wyatt and all of his Firefly Funhouse characters have come to life? Karrion Kross is the White Rabbit. Scarlet is Abby the Witch. Dexter Loomis is Mercy the Buzzard. And of course, Bray Wyatt is their master. And then they've got Braun Strowman in there with the Hog. Forgive me, I don't remember his name.
Huskus.
There we go. Huskus the Hog. And there goes the motorcycle guy again. He enjoys White Rabbit, apparently.
That was the biggest one yet. Fucking hell.
Yeah, Huskus going crazy.
But to further speculate on this,
That was awesome.
and the White Rabbit being
Scary.
Bray Wyatt, WWE Shop has begun offering this t-shirt that I've paired with a quote. The shirt is "Who Killed the World?" and on the back is "You Did" with the White Rabbit. Alongside, "I didn't make the world the way it is. You did." Thoughts?
Well,
Well, I mean, with Triple H, you can't get any worse. It can only go up from here with what they freaking did to him.
my first thought was to turn off the AC. Maybe this noise from outside won't come in as easily. Jesus. First of all, I said on Thursday I can't talk about the White Rabbit. I signed an NDA. I would love if that scenario played out, just because, yes, they've started to use Karrion Kross better since his return. Yes, Braun Strowman is back, but they haven't really said why. Like,
No.
yeah. And the fact is,
Braun has been pretty mute since he came back. And the thing that really got my head turning when reading this layout, number one, the way Dexter Lumis has been buzzing around the ring in the whole Miz scenario.
Yep.
And the way Killer Kross turned over the hourglass when he first arrived. And what's the White Rabbit always saying?
Ladies late.
I'm late for a very important date.
Copyright Disney, 1954. Anyway, it has to. And the thing is, I said this on Thursday, and I mean it. We can't say, "Oh, it has to be Bray or Raw." It's like, yes, do we expect it to be Bray Wyatt? We do, but nobody's ever. It's very much like when The Rock didn't. JJ, you brought this up on Thursday. It's very much like when The Rock didn't show up. Like, did anybody in the fucking company ever say The Rock's going to be here? No. So just, if it isn't, then it isn't. Do we all want it to be Bray? Because Bray, if anybody else as a recent main roster castaway deserves a moment than Bray Wyatt, please tell me who it is. Because that dude got screwed more than once when he was about to hit pay dirt.
Magic 8 Ball says, ask again later.
Right. You figure the Fiend, the character of the Fiend itself was screwed twice within the span of a calendar year because, well, not a calendar year, but a year's time, because he had that program built into taking the Universal Championship into WrestleMania, and then Billy Boy showed up in Country Redacted, and he only didn't completely wither away and die because him and Cena had that great cinematic match, the Firefly Funhouse match, which could have been a train wreck. And it still was, but it was fun to watch this one, unlike the friggin' train wreck they had with Orton with the bugs in the ring, which was stupid. But then they had the Alexa thing completely go sideways. It was so bad how they did that. You're telling me that muckin' Randy Orton set this dude on fire, and he comes back for his revenge, straight at looking like Freddy Krueger coming out of the pits of hell, and his woman screwed him over, and then he Mr. Rogers himself and says, it'll be better, and then he's gone. What the actual fuck was all that?
See, and there you go. The final thing we saw of him was Firefly Funhouse Bray.
Yep.
Saying that things will be better.
Yeah.
So we've now taken this year plus away. Slowly started to do what me and Jeff are always harping on. Long-term storytelling, because while most of these people are coming back and they're doing sort of something, like you've got Cross with Drew, you've got Dexter and Miz, you've got Braun and whatever. Crushing Alpha Academy, apparently. That's the thing to do.
As long as he's not bringing back the fucking train station, I'm cool.
But they're not really invested in anything major.
Exactly.
So that once the Puppet Master appears, those strings can be pulled and they can all fall right into line.
They've got no strings to hold. Sorry, go ahead.
James.
Yeah.
James is back because Braun's on the Showman Express again.
Braun Strowman as the conductor. Apparently, that's one train James ain't taken.
Would James rather ride the Strowman Express or the Lex Express?
Hey now.
I'd rather Lex Express all day long. Holy fuck. I'd rather never ever.
Lex Express or the Lexi as in Alexa Bliss Express. Aha.
I was going to say, because that Lex Express amounted to a whole amount of Jack Diddley shit, too.
Well,
not the only vehicle.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Was there a train noise?
No.
Exactly. Freaking.
No, it was him in
Strowman
American
the tank engine over
pants.
here.
It was him in American flag pants on a bus.
I'd rather that. Better than
Anyway,
At least he didn't. Hey, Lex Express was at least a bus, but no, we got. Fuck.
what was that? Was that Thomas the Tank Engine?
It's freaking Strowman the Tank Engine.
Damn it.
Do we own Thomas at Disney?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I was gonna say.
I believe that's
Cubo
a
does,
PBS.
Cubo
Okay,
does.
God.
I'm like, can I make fun of that? I don't know. Yeah.
Imagine Thomas the Tank Engine as a horror character, and they make a heavy metal version of that theme.
Hey, there's supposed to be a Winnie the Pooh horror movie coming out
Hey,
here soon.
They already made a meme
Christ.
version. It's the Thomas the Dank Engine, where it's just
Yes.
Snoop Dogg coming in. Smoke
anyway,
weed. Damn, son,
Back
where'd
to
you
the
find
topic.
this?
Once you take a sip of your Gatorade, Noah, what are your thoughts on this?
Are you telling me
Because
that Barney's gonna be turned into a serial killer next? What the fuck's happening with
He
society?
already is a serial killer. That freaking dinosaur is pure evil.
I
Oh,
will fuck you up, bitch.
James,
You will
fucking idiot.
not survive the pits.
all right, now we know what their theme music's going to be.
Copyright Jeff Meacham Network Casino Studios. You got to pay us the royalties. Oh, Jesus.
We've lost Noah. Look at him. These are the best parts of open mic night when we can break Noah.
This is why this show exists in the first place, damn it. Oh, Lord Almighty.
Noah's trying to get those brain cells back.
damn
Yeah,
it!
no, they're gone
James,
forever now.
You
There-
freaking
There's
idiot!
no turning back now.
There's no turning back.
Oh, my
What?
God.
Noah, you don't like Thomas the Dank Engine? You have an issue with the Thomas the Dank Engine?
Oh, do we have a problem here? Oh,
Yes, definitely.
Freaking Mickey Mouse is the conductor of the Strowman the
Oh my
Strowman the Tank
God.
Engine. Here we go.
I would like to point out for the record that Mickey Mouse, while this game had nothing to do with the Strowman Express whatsoever. Thank you very much.
As far as we know,
that's what
like,
you think.
Oh,
could
my
you
God.
imagine? Could you imagine if it was
Oh,
Alexa
my
Bliss
Lord.
doing a Mickey Mouse impression? All right, Strowman, time to go.
And it won't be in black and white. I'll tell you that.
We have gone
Please
off the
black and white.
rails.
No.
We've gone off the fucking rails. Damn it! Train reference.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Okay.
Deep breath. Noah,
Okay, bring the express
Noah,
back.
I'm
All right,
coming,
we gotta go back
I'm
around the
coming to
station.
you to try to reel us in here.
Ugh.
Your thoughts on the potential of this
Uh,
angle possibility? Is Bray the White Rabbit? Could this be what it's building up to? I love your takes on stuff, so tell us what you think about this.
there's a lot of interesting underlining narratives with the shirt, the quote, and the symbolism you connect with the characters of the Firefly Funhouse to the foursome. That definitely breathes a lot of truth to being Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse reincarnated. But it's one of those frames where I'm like, okay, the buzzard, Loomis, he's a lurker. Okay, that makes sense. Husky, he's a pig. He's a fat pig. He eats a lot. Braun Strowman destroys tag team competition for lunch.
And he really likes trains, apparently.
So there's never been a
Stop
train
it,
to fly.
Danny. Jesus.
James, you need to make like Elsa and let it go.
If there's a train in the Firefly Funhouse, I officially quit watching WWE.
Well, there was a train in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, which is what the Firefly Funhouse was kind of.
Oh
loosely
no!
based on.
Oh no! Why did you put that out there?
That's an
JJ,
that's
do it
an
now.
you've done the
insult.
bad thing. Come back.
That's an insult to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
That's right.
Just saying. And Cross, insert first name here. What the fuck is it? I don't remember.
Carrion.
Yeah, that thing. Because the only killer is Killer Kelly.
That's right.
Carrion. I'm not sure how he fits into the rabbit because in theory, the rabbit was the weakest character of Firefly Funhouse. Okay, he was always the one killed off. And I'm like, why? Why is this guy just Mr. Suicide? Not from TNA. Why?
Oh my God, they killed Kenny.
You bastards.
Or they killed
Oh,
the
you got a
rabbit.
problem here.
The rabbit. I remember, I think Killer Cross was the White Rabbit character in Lucha Underground, so I guess there could be that
Oh,
symbolism.
that's right. I forgot about that.
With Paul London and Brian Kendrick
Yes,
that were like his
yes.
worshippers. So again, there is that continuity there. And then Scarlet, well, woman of very few words that speaks more with actions and apparel. Abby the Witch, though, it's weird to think how those identities of personality can correlate to those four. But if you're going to set up War Games to be something else besides Bloodline versus insert foursome here, this would be an interesting take. Drew McIntyre right now is the first to go against this opposing force. What does that mean with the other three? You tell me. Liv Morgan's going to go extreme with Ronda Rousey, apparently. And someone did point out in the unforeseen circumstances grab it, whatever the hell we're calling this premium live event bullshit. There is a Lantern, I think, graphic inside the actual graphic itself.
Yes.
Yeah, we all remember the horror story, though we want to forget that. And I'm not talking about American Horror Story. That actually was entertaining. And I didn't even watch it. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of truth there. But so what? Is Bray Wyatt now the Mad Hatter? I don't know necessarily how the rabbit comes into play. Is it just the time thing with carrying Cross? But based on what you put together, it would be an interesting way to see these four carry out a mission, and then, boom, he's let in. Bray Wyatt, whatever crazy identity, mask, hat, or whatever Alice in Wonderland dark movie dance he might do as the ringmaster of this crew. It definitely sounds like a lot to be a new Wyatt family, whatever they might be. I don't know what else I could associate this with right now, with anybody in wrestling. You can't say Aleister Black and Malachi Black, and all the best to the actual person himself. He's taking care of his mentality. I wish a lot more people fucking did that. But yeah, at this point, I can't think of anybody else that WWE released or somebody that could be and breathe this type of horror creative reality than Mr. Rotunda himself. I think you're on point. Now, whether or not this happens at unforeseen circumstances or he shows up at War Games, that's yet to be determined, because out of those four, only one is actually in action in a match, as far as we know so far, on the event coming up. And that's Karrion Kross in a strap match, which I find weird in itself. I thought it was a stretcher match, actually, but I guess I was wrong. I got to see more to come out for particularly Dexter Lumis and the Expressman before I really can say they all are correlated to the White Rabbit and Bray Wyatt. But I think at least Karrion Kross at this point is definitely associated with it based on not only Lucha Underground identity, but the whole time mechanic. So I think as far as Karrion goes, he is connected to Bray Wyatt. I'm not sure about the other three.
Okay,
I mean,
fair. James?
I think there's a very good possibility that we're all overthinking this, and maybe Bray Wyatt's just a big white rabbit guy. Maybe they own a plantation where he just really likes white rabbits, and so they just, they have the Strowman Express. They bring him the food. They have like a trailer full of food on the Strowman Express, and they just feed the rabbits. It's great. They eat the carrots, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" It's great.
Kill the wabbit, kill the
wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Wait. Are you saying that Drew McIntyre is going to be Elmer Fudd?
Be very, very,
very
quiet.
very, very quiet.
Hunting
the rabbits.
Killer Cross.
So who's Daffy Duck? What the fuck's happening here?
Daffy Duck is...
You, sir, are
The Miz.
despicable.
Miz, yeah. Logan Paul.
No, Logan Paul's the one in the world title match.
Yeah, so it'll be Logan Paul eventually. He'll just be
I don't know.
Despicable.
We've gone from Disney to Warner Brothers. For the love of God, go back on the rails.
This train has left this reality. You have entered the Twilight Zone. Oi.
Jeff, do you have any thoughts you want to add on this?
Or bring it back to reality?
On the alternate reality we live in, yes, definitely. I'm definitely scared. No,
Jason, idiot.
It's one of those. It's very hard to envision as anything else because it's so. It just seems to kind of write itself. I mean, yeah, it was put out there by a few people, but it really seems like it's so. It works on so many ways. Either it's the exact thing they're going with, or rather than a white rabbit, it's a red herring, and we're completely thrown off the scent.
Exactly.
It's Adam Rose's rabbit. Oh no.
Jesus Christ, I'm out.
Jesus Christ.
No Leo Kruger, that's a bad James.
All I know is if that means that Gino Rivera gets to come back as a Rosebud again, I'm good.
There you go. Take my money in that case, absolutely.
Whatever happened to that guy anyway, Adam Rose?
He was a social outcast.
Forgot all about that shit.
By
design.
That has layers.
So does onions.
Oh,
And they
now
make
we
you
got
cry,
Shrek
too.
memes in
Anyway.
here. DreamWorks now. Here we go.
Covering all the studios today.
Okay, so how do we cover Paramount? Because good God.
This show has gone where no show has gone before.
Rick and Morty.
There we go.
There we go.
All right, but yeah, because here's the thing, I just don't know if I could put all four with Bray Wyatt, but there are signs from each of the personalities that says Bray's returning. Whether or not they're with him, though, I don't know. Bray is just, again, like you said, ultimate puppet master. Is he pulling the strings from behind the scenes or beyond whatever realm we're talking about this insanity?
Right.
It's hard for me to see Bray group with all these men, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Would this be ringside insanity?
No.
What
No.
do you mean by that?
No.
It was just a little joke because you said from whatever insanity this is. So considering it's wrestling, I said insanity, which is a little inside.
Oh,
baseball joke
publication,
for Jeff.
that bullshit. Yeah, I don't read those things, so yeah.
So
But I mean, Bray, when he was in the Firefly Funhouse, he was by himself. Alexa Bliss joined in later, and that was the only actual person inside the place with him. And right now, Bliss is with Asuka for whatever reason. So the thing that we're also not thinking about here, I mean, Bliss, does she come back into play? Does she show any signs still of Bray Wyatt or Fiend influence? Does that come back into play? Yes, I know the doll, I think, is still a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing anymore. I wish it wasn't, if it is.
Just take
But,
the ball
but
back,
yeah,
man.
it's got to be Bray returning at the forefront. I can't think about anybody else that's connected to this teasing. But whether or not those other four are part of the package, that remains for me to be seen. The only one that makes the most sense is Karrion Kross.
it's fair. All right. Well, before we wrap things up tonight and start to do our plugs and shills,
Well,
and
what about
everything,
Jeff? Jeff didn't even get his full thing in, did he?
Oh no.
he said his.
It's one of those. I honestly can't picture a scenario outside of Bray because it's so well presented and it makes the most sense. And I don't. Why would you make so many references that very much tie into? God, I'm showing way too much of my belly here.
It's okay.
So seriously bring you around to Bray Wyatt, including that quote that JJ referenced in one of the graphics he used.
Right, exactly.
It just makes sense. And
Right.
being in the Triple H era, he seems to be making things, so obvious that they either go through or there is the red herring. I don't know. I mean, I just don't foresee them teasing us with Bray so much and then not following through, because we all, whether we liked the original Bray Wyatt coming in with the family back out of NXT or whatever, we all appreciate how many times Wyndham Rotunda was dicked over by that company.
Yeah, he deserved better.
That he does. And again, you deserve it is a chant that is grossly overused in today's wrestling market, but
Among so many other survey says, but continue.
Wyndham definitely deserves to have at least an opportunity to right the wrongs that previous creative management hands dealt him.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is, great. And if it's not, depending on what they end up showing, I'm willing to at least give it the opportunity. And by the way, the name of the show that's coming up on October 8th that we are using on the Jeff Meacham Network, even though it is a Triple H book show and I'm looking forward to it, is Conservative Suggestions.
Okay. I couldn't think of it. I said unforeseen circumstances, so
That's okay. You know what? With a new booking, it could be unforeseen. It could actually be a really good pay-per-view.
Right.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
again,
usually they have been lately.
Triple H so far has not given me a sour note. I will
The
give him
fact that
that.
SummerSlam, even though partially Vince booked it, was still fun to call. The last one was fun too. So I'm okay with how they're doing so far. I actually used I made a Twitter header out of the shows we're covering coming up, even though I won't be part of probably the majority of them. And I used the Extreme Rules graphic instead because it seems like the fact that they're using Paul in the advertising, which is the right way to go when you're going to Philadelphia and you're going to have an extreme pay-per-view, you got to have Paul there, at least in the advertising. Yeah. So if you're talking about conservative suggestions, I'm conservatively optimistic about Bound for Glory and Extreme Rules and the other shows that are on that header, Hard Times and Full Gear. And then, of course, we'll have War Games for Survivor Series. So the next shows we cover on our respective networks, premium live event wise, pay-per-view wise, I'm optimistic about. And for the first time, the next shows we're doing on the horizon, I'm not worried about, oh God, with this crap again for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. And James, even you can attest to that too. Again, we had fun with Clash of the Castle, especially with the return of Imperium. They still have to freaking get the original theme back for our New World Symphony. But again, that's just a minor detail because I still say music don't mean shit unless it's Roman Reigns' theme in the WWE because you can't recognize anyone else's theme. Let's just call it what it is.
They said that a lot on Twitter this week. Like, there's so many themes on television. It's like, okay, who's this again? Oh, yeah, it's this guy. That's right. Because they're so interchangeable, it feels like. I will say this, though, about you guys mentioned earlier about Walter losing the title possibly to Solo Sikoa. He's having another match with Sheamus on either SmackDown or at Extreme Rules. It's on SmackDown. I would not be surprised one bit if Sheamus actually gets the job done this time.
It does feel like one of those feints where it's like you do it a second time around and give him the Grand Slam. It could happen.
And either way, if Walter retains or if Sheamus wins, JJ and I have never been the biggest Sheamus supporters. I'm actually okay with either scenario because I like what they've done with Sheamus with the Brawling Brutes. So
it's a crew that works, and them facing Imperium just feels so right. It's the first time that this crew actually feels like they're in the right type of program. I can honestly say that. So
yeah, I don't have a problem calling Pete Dunne Butch anymore. I'm over my irrational anger at the accident that hurt Big E with Rich Holland. I'm looking forward to these two 3-man units going to war each and every time they're within a yard of each other.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, just to round it out, if it's not Bray, then why the hell are we being rickrolled in 2022? It's got to be Bray Wyatt.
Right. But like I said, if it's not and the presentation is good enough where I don't have the irrational want to break my television anger, then that's okay too.
Agree. And I will say this. I trust in Triple H carrying this thing through.
And Paul we trust. And not Logan, because fuck that.
Yeah, thank you. It took the words out of my mouth. That's a whole different rant for another day.
Right.
Especially after the country.
I am shocked that the main event was this, and it was not about Dominic having a new mommy. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, because you know what? I've been waiting for Dominic to go heel.
Same.
And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, dude, he seems so nervous. He seems so like a scared little puppy out there, like he just got kicked backstage and then was told get out there and cut a heel promo.
I'll tell you exactly why. It ain't about the heel turn no more, man. He's got a new mommy, and that mommy is making him feel good.
Dude, you can't tell me any of the four of us in this room be out there with Rhea going, can't concentrate.
Well, first off, Rhea Ripley. Secondly, Dominic's been having fun in the dungeon with her, apparently.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah, right there with the House of Black.
Content.
Hey, yo.
adapted.
Uh,
Well, I don't think. Well, yeah, I mean, you know what? There might be some truth to that.
The whole other dungeon in wrestling, not the Hart family dungeon.
Xvideos.com. Anyway,
No, don't go there.
Some people are
No,
saying
no,
that's why
no.
Paige went over to AEW.
right. Like,
So
It's like-
Saraya will have some new people to make
and
movies
man,
with.
bro, Dominic made the right choice, man. This should have been the headlining, man. This is me, man.
No.
I'll tell you why. Because that man made the right decision career-wise for himself. Because he's
Damn
going
right.
to get all the bitches now. Because he's there with Damian Priest. He's got Rhea Ripley as his mommy, and she got connections too. He's rolling in that.
dude, they call freaking our boy Peter Avalon and Ryan Nemeth the wingmen. Dude, Dominic's got the best wingmen in the game right now.
Bro, he's got the greatest. Oh, and we get, unsung hero Finn Balor too.
I'm
I
saying, you
mean,
forgot Finn
he's
Balor?
got some connections.
Seriously,
got
man,
some
Finn Balor
great
got some Kathy
connections.
Kelly action.
He's
Good on
got
him,
some
bro.
elite connections.
Well, I mean, they're trying to get AJ
Pizza,
Styles.
hello.
They're trying to get AJ Styles, but AJ Styles and Finn Balor, they're both
Like-
married, but
It's like, hey Dom, got a 2 sweet tooth? Call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on Triple
Anyway.
X
Calling up
Avenue.
Tokyo Pimp over there.
Reeling things
No.
back in. Reeling things back in. Before we get to
Now
the
that's a
shows and
real
everything-
rabbit right there. Pizza. Hello.
Mhm.
Before we get to the shows and everything, I did star a comment from Elizabeth Delgado that I wanted to bring up.
Want to know if any of you guys saw what Daniel Finley did to Will Ospreay at the contract signing. It almost seems as if Omega Ospreay is a go based on what I saw. Ooh.
Yes.
I have been here for a Omega Ospreay one-on-one match, whatever continent it's on, since they've been teasing it.
Forever.
Thank you for that. My niece appreciates that reference.
Right?
Wrestle Kingdom.
That's one of those, much like the Jericho Danielson / MJF Moxley matches. You book that match or those matches on one show. Don't tell me anything else. You can have my money directly deposited into your bank account if you're promoting that shit. Like, go ahead.
I will risk a month of my freaking house note to get there.
Dude, Omega Ospreay has the potential. The fact that match, we said it a couple weeks ago, was in the semis was bullshit.
Agree.
But having them one-on-one on New Japan television, on AEW television, if they, take Kenny back off timeout, just, I don't care where I see it. I've got access to pretty much anywhere I can see it. So, yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, damn right. I'm all in.
Yeah.
That means a different.
Those two guys, and, we talked about the PWI 500 last week on both the review and this show. The fact that Ospreay was where he was is goddamn ridiculous. I get he was hurt a lot and he didn't have a whole lot of time to make up the match content or the match quantity. But, man, those two guys are probably the best two guys that have been featured primarily in Japan.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Um,
This last year alone, bar none.
as far as gaijins go.
Yeah.
Those guys can.
You know what? Those guys could headline any
Super card on
in any company around the world, and if there's any argument against it, it's only because they haven't had a shit ton of American television exposure. But in 2022, that doesn't matter like it did back in the Attitude Era because
Most people, yeah.
I mean, we've all been fans long enough. You couldn't get readily access to New Japan, at the Charter Central. You just couldn't because there wasn't
Nope.
there. So the fact that we're having a discussion about Will Ospreay and having the thought we have about Ospreay in 2022 is ridiculous. That
By the way, you're muffled again.
and like I observed on the cruise, the man is part Filipino, part Brit, so he can go all night and still wake up the next morning like he did, stay out all night drinking and partying.
Well, I mean, again, James nearly lost his mind at Forbidden Door when Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy almost had a title change.
Right?
Yeah, right.
We all
That was a
did,
really
like-
good match.
Kidding me?
That's one of my highlights of the year. There was a top 10 commentary calls. That's up there in my top 3.
It's true.
Battle is Jeff versus the motorcycle, and Jeff is losing rapidly.
That's all right. It's time to start wrapping things up anyway.
Oh,
We're going to
man.
start
It's
going
been a
through
hell of a
our
party.
plugs.
Oh, do we have another starred comment or no?
I do have one, but I must save that one for
Ah,
the
I
end.
see. Yeah, for the plugs. I got you.
All right, cool.
So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna do James your plugs. Jeff, yours are filtered in with mine based on days. Then we will do. Oh, looks like we're getting a couple more comments now. Then we'll do the
Hey,
starred comment.
Dathia! Good to see ya. Go check out her Victory Road recap and review, folks, on Steve Paul's Daily Slam. Jesus Christ, Barbed Wire Massacre literally lived up to the name.
We have definitely been to Vegas, Matt. Jeff and I were there together back in 2011. It's something we've talked about multiple times on the channel, as we were there when the infamous CM Punk pipe bomb was dropped at Thomas and Mack Center. And then, of course, we've been there for extracurricular activities on our own.
We tried extra activities, but somebody flipped out.
I said it going to set my soul.
I will say this,
Sorry.
Matt. There is a high likelihood if there's a weekday game where either the Kings are up there playing the Knights, or if I happen to have a friend hook me up with another random weekday game, I'll probably be in Vegas this hockey. So I'll let you know when I'm up there, brother. We'll get together and do this. We'll get there, have a drink ski or something.
There you go.
Anyone going to Sin City Showdown tapings?
Viva
No.
Las Vegas.
Definitely
no,
not
I'm
me.
broke.
I am
I'm broke.
I broke.
I broke.
SummerSlam was awesome last year. I almost put it down for glory, but I didn't have enough notice. But SummerSlam was fun.
Again, I need to get back to the Impact Zone some point in 2023.
There you go. So, James, go ahead and start doing your plugs. And then, like I said, we'll go to me and Jeff. Jeff, yours are worked in with mine, and then Noah will bring us home.
All right. Well, there's a few things that I'm going to be plugging. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi. I'm on the screen. So I'm gonna be doing the long form discussion on all the drama that's going on Monday. I was originally gonna do it on Friday or Wednesday, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch AEW and just not let it ruin it. I'll just talk about it Monday and get it over with and done with. So stay tuned for that. Jay Hebert side of things, number 3, covering the whole debacle of AEW BS drama. We also have Button Masters out right now, where you got retros in the plan. Haven't been edited, but will be soon. They're coming up, and that's really all I got to plug. Really, there's not really. It's kind of a slow month. Other than I guess I can plug that my birthday is literally going to be in 4 days. I turn number 27. So yeah, I'm
Happy early birthday. We'll definitely have to celebrate next week on open mic night.
Mm-hmm. I would like that. I like that very much.
All right. We'll go back to this format for Jeff and I, since we share so many different plugs. All right. So if you missed out today, go back and watch my review of Clerks 3, the end of the Dante and Randall saga. Their trilogy finally comes to a close. It is so good, so heartwarming, so sad, tear-inducing. Find a way to get out there and see this movie if you can, whether you go to Kevin's convenience store tour or if it's still showing in a local Cineplex near you. Get out there and see Clerks 3.
It's coming here soon, brother. I saw the ad for it.
Tomorrow, of course, the War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, where I show off the newest additions to my ever-growing movie library. I'll be showing off a bunch of Dollar Tree DVDs that I recently got. They just got a new wave in. So I got quite a few Dollar Tree DVD and Blu-rays that I split it up into 2 weeks. 1 week DVDs, 1 week will be Blu-rays. Starting on Monday, we're going to start wrapping up back to school month. We go to college, National Lampoon's Animal House, to kick the week off. Whole week of college movies and National Lampoon movies specifically. Of course, Tuesday, Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou. Come on in, the food is hot, the beer is cold, the seats are warm, so grab a bar stool and engage in professional sports conversation. Take this one away, Jeff.
We are currently running the pool. As far as I have been told by our star and host, Staff Boy Mike, we have a $10 pot for the moment because we've sold 10 squares. Looking to fill that grid up, especially when it's the Cowboys. And they're playing the Giants. So the more money I make on the fact that the Cowboys are playing that piece of shit team, the better. So, and I get the channel gets 20% of whatever we get. So, and you guys have a chance to win up to $100, or up to $80. Excuse me, I forgot I can take 20. So if the grid gets full, you can win $80 if the scores carry over. So get your pool money into Stat Boy Mike, and we'll see y'all Monday night for that when the Cowboys take on that damn team from New York that's not the Jets, who I hate too. I get to do talk wrestling this week because I'm not working. Yay! Very happy to be on the air for talk wrestling Tuesday night after NXT, which is not known as NXT for the record. In case you missed that the first 20 times you said it today. Just for the
Not my
record.
NXT, damn it!
Yeah, that's right. Get that shirt coming soon. Hopefully, if I can get the time to get the damn shirt going. But yeah, talk wrestling, it really is fun to do that show, even if it only is for 30 minutes, because there's so much going on in all the corners of the wrestling world right now. So it's cool that I get to do it. The schedule, at least I have right now, I will be on the next 2 Tuesdays because I have a weekend down here, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'm down here with the mouse, but the next weekend I will be on open mic night for sure. The weekend of Extreme Rules and Bound for Glory, I will not be on the air with you guys at all, not even in producing mode. But I'll be on for Tuesdays for at least the foreseeable future. And I'm bummed I don't get the hours, but I'm grateful to be doing the show. And then from there, we go into JJ's Wednesday and Friday.
Which is back to the National Lampoon series, Dorm Days. Man, the cast for this one alone is just so awesome. You've got Randy Spelling, Tori's little brother. You've got Ashley Banks, Tatiana Ali. You've got Danielle Fishel. You've got Chris Owen, the Shermanator. You've got Patrick Renna, Ham from The Sandlot.
Oh my God.
So many great actors from like the 90s and the early 2000s in this movie. Gotta check it out. National Lampoon's Dorm Days will be Wednesday's Renegade review. And then also on Wednesday, Jeff.
Oh, yes, the Greg Cherry Show, which will be Greg and I for sure. If Big G's up for it, it really depends because the Steelers did not have a good Thursday night. So, and I know how Notre Dame did in college ball. I'll have to check out the scores when we get off the air here. But we could have a very salty Greg Cherry. We could have a very happy Greg Cherry, at least on the Notre Dame side of things. We also had Jack of all trades this last week, and Uncle Jeff laid a big turd on that show. So hopefully we'll get to talk about all that and more on Wednesday night right after the Renegade reviews.
And then on Thursday, the continuing coverage of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We've got 3 episodes still to go. See where the show takes us from here.
Very curious on that.
Friday, National Lampoon's Dorm Days 2, the sequel. Some of the same cast members are back. We also add 2000s model icon Vita Guerra to the cast, as well as ex-ECW star and adult movie starlet Jasmine St. Clair joins the cast as well.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Again, these are what we're covering, as well as the show we'll do next. But yeah, the multiverse of media from the Jeff Meacham Network, Bound for Glory, Extreme Rules, Hot Times in the World of the NWA, and Full Gear. Those are almost consecutive Saturday or Sundays, with the exception weekends. With the exception of the weekend of Country Redacted, because I might watch it if my ass is awake, but I ain't covering it because I have a play-by-play guy, kind of useless. But those are coming up, as is. Well, that's later in the year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Yes, I'll probably be working, but we'll have open mic night, and I'm sure that once we're off the clock at 12 o'clock on New Year's Eve, God help us all, at Disney, I'll be able to pop in and toast the new year, 2023, because 2023 is looking better with each passing day, my friends.
I love that idea.
So much going down in the next month, the next week.
So much good shit, pal.
Throughout the rest of the year. And that's not even counting what's coming up on James's channel, on Noah's channel, all the content that they crank out. October is 31 days of horror movies for me. Then we go back into the reduced format for November. Then Christmas is an entire month of Christmas, 31 days there as well. Then come January, man, kicking back off full months again. We're not going to be doing this part-time stuff. Had to open up the full months because of Halloween and Christmas. But come January 1st, it's going to be 31, 30, 28 days of movies every day. And still possibly TV series if something pops up. And new release Saturdays. So every Saturday is a double feature. And every Sunday is still going to have the War Zone. So that's a double feature as well. Plus PLE watch-alongs. Plus all the other stuff. I'm going to be a busy man. But not near as busy as the man above me, who, when a pay-per-view and a PLE comes around, is on 332 prediction shows over the course of 1 week. He is the simple man, Noah Foster. Bring us home as only you can, sir.
I want to apologize. Fuck that. You all got the real side of me tonight for a good reason. I hope you all enjoy it. But folks, you want to know more about me? Know this. I am not Elvis Presley impersonator. I am also not a paid commentator. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of root beer, preferably IBC, brown bottle for life, but also professional wrestling.
Damn it.
But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my ATW family, including James Hebert, even though he's a fucking idiot at times, but also over the place on Twitter.
I am.
I'd say I drink to that, but I'm out of mine.
I got time left. Anyway, God bless you, James. Appreciate you, brother, always. Find them all on Twitter. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. This week, I will be doing, of course, continued All Elite coverage for AEW Dynamite and Rampage, including Rampage Grand Slam on Steve Falls Daily Slam. Right there at Steve Falls Daily Slam on YouTube. Of course, we got upcoming pre-event live events and pay-per-views, so expect more pre-event prediction panels and league forums for that, whether it's No DQ Galaxy, or simply on my own. Also, as the month comes up to an end, James, you know what we do in the crew. Stay tuned, folks, for our monthly forum podcast, the A's Review Impromptu, a wild, unscripted, in-depth discussion on this last month in all things wrestling. And
funny you mentioned that. That will also be, for those who would like the wrestling rundown as well, ATW View is going to be replacing it until January 2023 due to Owen always being busy. So we got two different audiences for that one.
Well, there you go. We're multitasking. We're reaching out to different demographics and different universes. We are the multiverse. All right, good stuff. But also, again, stay tuned to Datia, who does great work also at Steve Falls Daily Slam, always covering Impact Wrestling. And Datia, maybe I'll join you actually for a Bound for Glory preview if me and Jerry of 1,000 Names are unable to work together on that too. But stay tuned, folks. But as always, I'd like to conclude. There are no winners, no losers, no betters. There are just fans with opinions for this passion that we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling too. It's as simple as that.
As we close this podcast, we are going to go to the Strowman Express to get the hell out of here. Time to go! Woohoo!
I couldn't say it any better myself, Noah. And Stat Boy said a long time ago, and I can't say enough, congrats to the and new Disneyland cast member, good old JM. Love you, bro.
Sorry, Jeff.
No, you're not. Shut the fuck up.
For the simple man, Noah Foster. For James Hebert. For the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham. I am the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you for joining us for Open Mic Night, and we will see you guys next time.